Well, good day. It's the 13th day of June 2021. Today's presentation is going to be on the training that new agents receive at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. And in specific, what I'm going to focus on is how their training differs, and it has changed very significantly in the past 25 or 30 years. They train differently from any other federal law enforcement agency, really any other federal or any other law enforcement agency that I'm aware of. They look for a different type of applicant. And this fits into the way they work right now, the way they train right now. So I'm going to have a short presentation with slides, help you with a visual aid, and then I'm going to come back after this and comment. Okay, the FBI Academy is about 20 weeks in length. It's conducted entirely at Quantico, Virginia. So this is one of the agencies that is one-stop shopping. And when we look at the new training, it's changed a lot. You know, I went there in 1985-86, and our courses with the DEA, FBI, almost identical. Okay, and I would say up until 9/11, really shortly afterward, the training, the type of people that were recruited in the training was different. Now, the job of the FBI has changed, and the training of the FBI has changed. The type of people that they recruit has changed. And right now, if you don't know, you probably should. The FBI is primarily focused on national security intelligence collection and analysis for the purposes of combating terrorism. So they still do the criminal investigations for sure, but that the primary focus, most agents are going to be involved in the collection and analysis of intelligence, again aimed at terrorism. And that's a huge sea change from the mid-70s to 2001. Okay, now the new agents who come in, most do not have prior law enforcement experience. They include the recruitment of lawyers, accountants, physical scientists, behavioral scientists, chemists, computer scientists, linguists, electrical engineers, and even teachers, in addition to prior law enforcement and military. And these priorities reflect the agency's shift to intelligence collection and analysis and furtherance of national security and counterterrorism. Now, the new agent course in and of itself, again, it's 20 weeks. It's probably the most welcoming and nurturing, in a good way. It's not baby holding your hand, but more nurturing certainly than DEA, new agent or basic agent course, or Border Patrol or something like that. Okay, they recognize that many of the people have taken pay cuts to join the FBI, and the training is designed to encourage and help people without law enforcement or military background to succeed. Okay, agent trainees study a broad range of subjects, including law, search and seizure, the United States Code, federal rules of criminal procedure, behavioral science, of course, interviewing. Report writing is not how to write a report, but rather the FBI reporting system, basing in advanced investigative techniques and intelligence collection techniques, interrogation, forensic science. They learn how to manage and run counterterrorism, counterintelligence investigations, weapons of mass destruction, cyber and criminal investigations, so that they're flexible and well-rounded and handle with help, any case on graduation or after graduation. And of course, the training also includes firearms, pursuit driving, PT, defensive tactics, practical exercises. An FBI new agent is a generalist, as opposed to a specialist that one would find in the DEA or the ATF or the Marshal Service. They specialize in certain areas. The FBI has to be a generalist who can be assigned to a number of different things, very different things. Okay, now what are some of the differences between the FBI and the DEA? Well, again, the FBI trains intelligence specialists, computer scientists, technicians, behavioral scientists, chemists to be special agents, to carry a gun, to have a badge, to have arrest authority. Now, many of these work in headquarters units in operational support. The DEA, on the other hand, trains and uses intel specialists and technicians and chemists in different job categories and does not train them to be law enforcement officers. So that is a huge difference. The intel analyst in the DEA has a very different job than the intel analyst in the FBI. Okay, what I'm going to do now is put on a short video which shows their training program, and then it's going to illustrate one of the huge differences between FBI training and other training, and then I'm going to comment on that.
There's this mystique about being an FBI agent. I know I questioned myself, hey, am I good enough for this? Do I really think I can do it? And I think we need to just put that self-doubt on a shelf.
For some people, this is going to be a lifestyle change for them. Many have not been in a situation where they've had to carry a weapon. They've never been in a situation where they've had to wear a tactical vest. They've never been in a situation where they've had to actually apprehend someone and take them into custody in a safe and an effective manner.
FTC is a monumental shift in how we used to do our traditional training, which was we had separate training courses for each of the intelligence analyst and the new agent trainees, or NATs. And we have found that in order for us to be more successful in identifying and minimizing the threats, we needed to have a combined team.
I think the integration is necessary because it helps each individual understand the other's job role. For example, the intelligence analyst can understand what the special agent is doing with the information that we may be providing to the intelligence community. And then similarly, when the special agent brings information in, we're understanding how they're bringing information in so intelligence analysts can get it out to the intelligence community. Also, at the end of the day, it builds camaraderie between two very separate job roles that are still very closely aligned within our organization.
In order to better prepare new intelligence analysts and new agent trainees, it is important for each of them to understand the other's specific job role. New agent trainees will learn analytic tradecraft standards, critical thinking, and threat analysis, while new analyst trainees learn how to be effective interviewers and basic investigative process.
The FBI takes people from a whole slew of different backgrounds, and so here at the Firearms Training Unit, we take those people regardless of their background. If they're prior military, prior law enforcement, we teach them the same ways we teach those people who have never touched a gun before in their lives. If they come to us with experience, we make them better. If they come to us with no experience, we teach them everything on the fundamentals of the gun, how the gun works, how their ammunition works, and the fundamentals of marksmanship, and we get them to leave here being extremely proficient with that gun. So when the new agents come to us, the Firearms Training Unit, we train them on 3 specific types of weapons. Their primary weapon, their sidearm, is a Glock 19M. It's a brand new weapon. That's predominantly what we're going to teach them with. In addition to that, we're going to expose them to the Remington 870P shotgun, 12 gauge, and then we'll also have them qualify and we'll teach them on what we call the Colt pattern carbine, what most people would consider an AR-15 or an M16 variant. With their pistol, they're going to shoot approximately 4,000 rounds of ammunition through their pistol. With the shotgun, they're going to shoot around 120 to 150 rounds through the 12 gauge shotgun. And then with the carbine, they're going to shoot approximately 620 rounds through the carbine while they're here with us.
What are the key takeaways I hope you got from the video, and particularly on the classroom instruction? And this is part of an article. You can't really see it too well, I'm sorry, but it's from Law Enforcement Bulletin. It's put out by the FBI, and it's entitled Intelligence-Led Policing for Law Enforcement Managers. And this is what they teach at their FBI National Academy, which is for police executives. This is what they teach to their special agents. And traditionally, law enforcement responds to a crime. They gather evidence, they arrest and prosecute the criminal. And if you're working on a criminal organization, then the various inputs come in, and you'll have an analyst who writes a report to headquarters on that organization, whether it's a drug cartel or something else. By contrast, intelligence-led law enforcement seeks to prevent crimes from happening in the first place. And in the context of terrorism, it involves data mining, collecting evidence or at least intelligence from a broad nest of sources, and then conducting assessments. And this is what the FBI calls basically a investigation that is not an investigation. So if they think Jim Benesek, for instance, is a right-wing extremist, well, they're going to do a search of my data, everything they can find on me, and they may even send agents over to my house to speak with me. And this is all fed to analysts in headquarters, and they identify gaps and provide more instruction, analysts and agents, to the field agents. And then the theory goes they're going to identify people who need to be investigated, and they'll have a predicate to open investigation, and they will work on the investigation and eventually lead to the gathering of evidence and the prosecution. So there's good points to what they do. It may prevent things, it may not prevent things. A lot of people, civil libertarians, even myself, tend to think that that type of method, that type of approach could be problematic. They have done it in the past, and it has been problematic. Now, again, the focus then becomes, again, traditional law enforcement. A person commits a crime, law enforcement comes in, or they're committing a crime, they're stopped, and we investigate it, gather evidence, prosecute. The analyst puts together the big picture of what's going on and reports it. Here they look at people who might commit a crime. So you're not investigated for what you've done, it's more for what you might do based on your views or your religion or whatever. And they look at you. And a lot of times they go away and there's nothing done because there's nothing to see. But at other times, the theory goes, they will, then be able to get people on the radar who are going to do something. We can stop them before they do it. That's the theory. My next video is going to be on that. So I hope you watch my next video, because it's going to look at how the FBI did it back in the late 40s, 50s, 60s, early 70s, and why they stopped doing that, and what some of the problems are with it today. So hope you enjoyed the video. I don't think there's too many of you who are out there who are aspiring FBI agents, but if you are, this will give you, this video should have given you a very good indication as to whether that agency, as it is right now, is for you. Thank you.